Hello friends, welcome to my channel. This is Meenal Sharma and we are now going to discuss some another paper for class 10th subject science, and the code number is 31/4/1 and the paper is of session 2020. So you know the paper's pattern, that is section A, B and C, and the section A consists of 14 questions of 1 marks each. So let's start with section A. Section A, first question. Write the number of valence electrons present in a nitrogen atom. As you know, the atomic number of nitrogen is 7. So, the number of valence electrons are the number of electrons present in the outermost shell. So, here the electronic configuration is 2, 5. So, the number of valence electrons will be 5, as the 5 electrons are present in the outermost shell. The next question is, define the term induced electric current. So, the electric current induced in a conductor due to the change in the magnetic field is known as induced current. The third and the fourth question is paragraph based questions. You have to read the paragraph and then you have to answer the questions. So, first read the paragraph. The third question is shown you on your screen, and the paragraph deals with the Daubinier and the new land laws. That means the paragraph is of your subject chemistry. You have to read the paragraph and then you have to answer the questions. These are the questions given related to the paragraph. The first question is, state Mendeleev periodic law. Second one is, why did Mendeleev leave some gaps in the periodic table? Third one is, if the letter R was used to represent any of the elements in the group, then the hydride and the oxide of carbon would respectively be represented as. You have to choose one from the options given along with. Same with the D part. You have to choose the correct definition for isotopes. Answers for these questions are mentioned along with. These are the answers for the questions. The question number 4 is also a paragraph based question. You have to read this paragraph, which is based on single use plastic, bioremediation, biomining, proper disposal, and you have to answer the question based on your understanding of this paragraph. The questions are, state 2 methods of effective plastic waste collection in your school. Name any 2 uses of single use plastic in daily life. If we discontinue the use of plastic, how can an environment friendly substitute be provided? Do you think microbes will work similarly in landfill sites as they work in the laboratory? Justify your answer. All questions are of 1 mark each, and you have to answer the questions based on your understanding of the paragraph given along with. So, you can answer the questions by reading the paragraph. Now, heading for the next question. Question number 5th and question number 6th is a MCQ based question. You have to answer the question with the help of these options and you have to choose the correct option. The question number 5th is, which of the following statement is correct about the human circulatory system? So the option will be, blood transport only oxygen and not carbon dioxide. Option B, human heart has 5 chambers. Option C, valves ensure that the blood doesn't flow backwards. Option D, both oxygen rich and oxygen deficient blood gets mixed in the heart. So the correct answer will be C, and the explanation is also mentioned. Sixth question is anaerobic processes. Options are, takes place in yeast during fermentation, takes place in the presence of oxygen, produces only energy in the muscles of human beings, and the option number D is produces ethanol, oxygen and energy. So the correct option will be option number A. The explanation is also given. You can read the explanation as the anaerobic respiration is the respiration or the fermentation which takes place in the presence of sugar but in the absence of oxygen. anaerobic fermentation in yeast results in the production of ethanol and carbon dioxide. So the correct answer will be option A. Or you are given with a choice with the question number 6. You can either answer the question related with fermentation of yeast, or you can go for this question, which is most of the digestion and absorption of the food takes place in the option A small intestine, option B liver, option C stomach, option D large intestine. So the correct answer will be option A स्मॉल इंटेस्टाइन. मोस्ट ऑफ द डाइजेशन, या फिर हम कह सकते हैं कि द मेन पार्ट ऑफ द डाइजेशन टेक्स प्लेस इन द स्मॉल इंटेस्टाइन. ओके, so the question is of 1 mark. Next question is question number 7. Fertilization is the process of option A transfer of male gametes to female gamete, B fusion of nuclei of male and female gamete, C adhesion of male and female reproductive organs, option D the formation of gametes by a reproductive organ. So the correct answer will be option B, क्योंकि fertilization is the fusion of male and female gamete. The next question is, if a person has 5 resistors each of value 1 by 5 ohm, then the maximum resistance he can obtain by connecting them is. Options are 1 ohm, 5 ohm, 10 ohm, 25 ohm. बच्चे क्या करते हैं कि देखते हैं कि मैक्सिमम इज 25 ओम, सो दे टिक द आंसर 25 ओम. बट यू हैव टू यूज योर कॉमन सेंस. लाइक if we connect these resistors in series, then we will get the maximum resistance. So connecting 1 by 5 ohm 5 resistors or 1 by 5 ohm each resistance, when we connect them in series as shown in on your screen, then it will give the maximum resistance of 1 ohm. So the correct option will be 1 ohm, option A, connection in series. Or you can go for the other question given in the choice. The resistance of a resistor is reduced to half of its initial value. In doing so, if other parameters of the circuit remain unchanged, the heating effect in the resistor will become, options are 2 times, half, 1/4, 4 times. So the correct answer will be B, half. Following the Joule's law of heating, which is H is equal to I square R into T, अगर सारे पैरामीटर्स कांस्टेंट रह रहे हैं, the amount of heat produced will be directly proportional to the resistance. So if you are changing the resistance to half, so the heat produced will be also half. जितना आप रेजिस्टेंस में चेंज करेंगे उतना ही सीधा इफेक्ट पड़ेगा हीट प्रोड्यूस्ड पे, फॉलोइंग द जूल्स लॉ ऑफ हीटिंग. सो द करेक्ट आंसर विल बी ऑप्शन बी, half. The 9th question is, Fleming's right hand rule gives. Option A magnitude of the induced current, option B magnitude of the magnetic field, option C direction of the induced current, option D both direction and magnitude of the induced current. So the correct option will be option C. Fleming's right hand rule states that if we stretch our right hand thumb, index finger and the middle finger in such a way that all of three are mutually perpendicular, so the thumb shows the direction of motion of conductor with respect to magnetic field, index finger shows the direction of magnetic field, then the middle finger shows the direction of induced current in the conductor. So the right answer will be C, direction of the induced current. 10th question is, which one of the following statements is not true about nuclear energy generation in a nuclear reactor? Option A, energy is obtained by a process called nuclear fission. B, the nucleus of uranium is bombarded with high energy neutrons. C, a chain reaction is set in the process. D, in this process, a tremendous amount of energy is released at a controlled rate. So the correct option will be B, the nucleus of uranium is bombarded with high energy neutrons because the slow moving neutrons are bombarded on the nucleus of the uranium to break the nucleus in smaller stable nuclei, releasing a large amount of energy. So the correct answer will be option B. Or you can go for a choice question. The biggest source of energy on Earth's surface is The answer is solar radiation. Sorry, the answer will be B, solar radiations. Maximum energy present on the earth is converted from solar energy. Main source of energy on the earth is sun. So the answer will be solar radiations. 11th question is, food web is constituted by relationship between the organism and the environment, relationship between plants and animals, various interlinked food chains in an ecosystem, relationship between animals and environment. The correct answer will be option C, various interlinked food chains in an ecosystem. Food web, the word food web itself giving an explanation, like food web is the interconnected network of food chains. So different small food chains compiled together to form a big food web. So food web is a interlinked food chain. So the correct answer will be option C. Question number 12. Choose the incorrect statement. You have to choose the incorrect statement from the following. Ozone is a molecule formed by 3 atoms of oxygen, right? Ozone shields the surface of Earth from ultraviolet radiations. This is again right. Ozone is deadly poisonous. This is also right. And the last option is ozone gets decomposed by UV radiations. So the incorrect statement is option number D. As ozone is an inorganic molecule made of 3 oxygen atoms, it is not decomposed by UV radiations. Rather, these radiations help in the formation of ozone. So, because when UV radiations falls on oxygen, it forms oxygen radicals which combine with oxygen molecules and form the ozone gas, O3 molecules. So, ozone gas is not decomposed by UV radiation. So the incorrect answer, or we have to choose the option number D. Ozone gets decomposed by UV radiations. So the next question will be 13th and 14th question, which is assertion and reason based question. You have to compare the assertion along with reason, whether it is the correct explanation for assertion or not. So the 13th question assertion is, following is a balanced chemical equation for the action of steam on iron. Reaction is given. Then the reason is also provided, like the law of conservation of mass holds good for a chemical reaction. So the answer is A, because the reaction is also correct and the reason given is also correct, like the law of conservation of mass holds good for a chemical reaction. So the correct answer will be option A, that both A and R are true and R is the correct explanation of the assertion A. 14th question, which is again an assertion and reason based question. The assertion is, the sex of child in human beings will be determined by the type of chromosome he and she inherits from the father. Then the reason is given, a child who inherits X chromosome from his father would be a girl, while a child who inherits a Y chromosome from the father would be a boy. So the answer will be option number A, because both A and B, because both A and R, sorry, assertion and reason are correct statements, and the reason is the correct explanation for this assertion. So we will go for option number A. Now this is the section number B, consisting of 3 marks question. The first question is, lead nitrate solution is added to a test tube containing potassium iodide solution. You have to answer 3 questions. First is, write the name and the color of the compound precipitated. As you can see the reaction uh, which is written below, that is potassium iodide when reacts with lead nitrate, it gives potassium nitrate and lead iodide. So the compound which is precipitated is lead iodide, and the color of the compound precipitated will be yellow. Write the balanced chemical equation which we have written, and the C part is, name the type of the reaction justifying your answer. So this is a double displacement reaction, because in this reaction 2 compounds exchange their ions to form new compounds. So lead nitrate and potassium iodide are exchanging their ions. So this is the type of double displacement reaction. You can go for a choice question as well, which is, what happens when food materials containing fats and oils are left for a long time? List 2 observable changes and suggest 3 ways by which this phenomena can be prevented. So the question is dealing with oxidation reaction. So when food materials containing fats and oils are kept for a long time, they undergo oxidation and their taste and their smell changes. They become oxidized. And also this can be prevented by using airtight and light protecting packaging, using antioxidants like vitamin A, or you can fill nitrogen gas in chips containers. So by these methods you can prevent the food from being oxidized. The next question is that you have to differentiate between galvanization and alloying. So galvanization is the process of depositing a thin layer of zinc metal on iron objects to protect them from rusting. So एक layer बनाएंगे zinc की so that it is prevented from further rusting. Alloying is the mixture which is a homogeneous mixture of two or more metals or a metal and a non-metal to change the properties of a pure state metal and protect them from rust. Also, galvanization does not affect the property of the metal, but alloy changes the property of the metal, because alloy are formed by the combination of two or more metal and non-metal, so the properties are changed. Galvanization can be done by various methods like spraying molten zinc on the iron surface, dipping iron objects into molten zinc, and etc. Then alloying can be done by alloying iron object with the chromium and nickel. This is an example of an alloy. So you can done alloying by a different method, and the method for galvanization is also different. You can list more differences here also. The next question is, carbon, a member of group 14, forms a large number of carbon compounds, estimated to be about 3 million. Why is this property not exhibited by other elements of this group? Explain. So here you can explain the property of carbon like tetravalency. It can bind with 4 atoms at a time. And the second property is catenation, means the self-linking property of the carbon. It forms multiple compounds, multiple bonds. This is also a property. And you can also write the small size of carbon. The size of carbon is also a special property which make it such a brilliant, such a different element. So you can write these properties which is responsible for the large number of carbon compounds. Okay, the next question is, a cheetah on seeing a prey moves towards him at a very high speed. What causes the movement of his muscles? How does the chemistry of cellular components of muscles change during this event? So, a cheetah possesses an extremely flexible spine, which allows for extreme flexion and extension while moving towards a prey at a very high speed. Rapid respiration is required for a high intensity output of the chasing activity. Thus, a cheetah consequently respires anaerobically. During anaerobic respiration, partial breakdown of glucose takes place, which leads to the accumulation of lactic acid in the muscles at the end product. So, यहाँ पे आपसे पूछा गया था कि movement of his muscles क्या है, what causes the movement of his muscles? So he respire anaerobically and it produces the lactic acids in the muscles as an end product. You can write here. The next question is, define geotropism. Draw a label diagram of a plant showing geotrophic movement of its part. So geotropism refers to the growth of the part of a plant in response to gravity. Also, I have mentioned a diagram in the next slide. The next question is, define the term evolution. Evolution cannot be equated with progress. Justify this statement. So evolution is a gradual and continuous change in the traits of an individual that is accumulated and enables it to survive better in its surrounding. And evolution cannot be equated with the progress from lower organism to higher organisms. Evolution just lead to the production of diversity by environmental selection. In addition, even the simpler life form continue to flourish, as we can see in the case of bacteria. These are one of the simplest life forms that inhabit in extreme cold or hot conditions. So, evolution doesn't always be equated with progress, because progress is a positivity. Progress means an organism is always improving. But evolution means a change that takes place over a long period of time. So, you cannot compare the word evolution with that of progress, because evolution doesn't always means the progress, because even the small sized bacteria is also surviving without such evolved characters. So you cannot use word evolution with progress. Cannot compare it with progress. So the next question, you can go for the choice question, which is during the course of evolution, organs or features may be adapted for new functions. Explain this fact by choosing an appropriate examples. You can give the examples like dinosaur have feathers for insulation in cold weather, but in case of birds, they were used for flying. Also, you can give an example of bacteria which were able to survive in most of the inhospitable habitats like hot springs and vents, and then the ice in Antarctica. You can give any examples for the course of evolution, or the organs. You can take the example and which is related to new functions. This is the example of this is the figure of plant showing geotropic movement. The roots are showing positive geotropism and the stem is showing negative geotropism, as the stem is growing away from the soil and the roots are growing towards the soil. So it is showing positive geotropism and the stem is showing negative geotropism. Next question is, a concave mirror is used for image formation for different positions of an object. What inference can be drawn about the following when an object is placed at a distance of 10 centimeter? So this is the object distance 10 centimeter from the pole of a concave mirror of focal length, and the focal length is 15 centimeter. You have to calculate the position of the image, the size of the image, and the nature of the image, and also you have to draw a labeled diagram for this. So you can use the mirror formula 1 by v is equal to 1 by f minus 1 by u, or you can say 1 by v plus 1 by u is equal to 1 by f, which is the mirror formula. By putting the values of the focal length and the object distance, you can calculate the image distance, which comes out to be 30 centimeter behind the mirror. And also you can calculate the height and the size of the image by using the magnification formula, which is equal to height of image upon height of object will be equal to magnification and will be equal to negative of image distance upon object distance. And on putting the values, you calculate the height of the image, which comes out to be 3 times that of the size of the object. Question number 22 is, the refractive index of a medium x with respect to medium y is 2 by 3, and the refractive index of medium y with respect to medium z is 4 by 3. And you have to calculate the refractive index of medium z with respect to medium x, and also the speed of light in medium x is 3 into 10 to the power 8 meter per second, and you have to calculate the speed of light in medium y. On comparing the refractive index of medium x with y and y with z, we can easily calculate the refractive index of medium z with respect to medium x, which comes out to be 9 by 8. Once you calculate the refractive index of medium z with respect to x, and you can easily calculate the speed of light in medium y, which is using the formula v, which is the speed of light in medium y, which will be equal to c, which is the speed of light in vacuum, into refractive index of x with respect to y, which comes out to be 2 into 10 raised to power 8 meter per second. The next question is, a person may suffer from both myopia and hypermetropia defects. What is this condition called? So this condition is called presbyopia. When does it happen? It happens in old ages. Name the type of lens which requires by the suffering from this defect. Draw a label diagram of such lenses. So for the correction of these defects, we use bifocal lens, and it will give clear vision for the person suffering from presbyopia. And you can also draw the diagram of bifocal lenses to give a detailed view of this type of defect correction. Now, next question is, how will you use two identical glass prisms so that a narrow beam of white light incident on one prism emerged out of the second prism as white light? Draw and label the ray diagram. One glass prism must be placed in inverted position with respect to other. So when white light passes from first prism, it will be dispersed into 7 colors, and when these 7 colors will fall on an inverted prism, all these lights will be converged back into the white light. When this color light falls on the inverted prism, then the light of the 7 colors continue to give white light. This can be represented as represented below. This is the section C consisting of 5 marks question each. So the first question of section C is: a cloth strip dipped in an onion juice is used for testing a liquid X. The liquid X changes its odor. Which type of an indicator is onion juice? The liquid X turns blue, litmus red. List the observation the liquid X will show on reacting with the following: A. Zinc granules. B. Solid sodium carbonate. And you also have to write the chemical equation for the reactions. So onion juice is an olfactory indicator. Olfactory means the indicator which is related with the smell. So since the liquid X turns blue, litmus red, so it is an acid. And when liquid X, an acid like HCl, reacts with a zinc, which is a metal, so when a metal reacts with an acid, it forms hydrogen gas. So here bubbles of hydrogens will be produced as shown by the reaction H2 gas. And the other question, which is the reaction with sodium carbonate. So when liquid like an acid react with sodium carbonate, carbon dioxide gas will be liberated. So here when HCl reacts with sodium carbonate, which is Na2CO3, it will give salt NaCl, H2O water, and the CO2 in the form of gas. Or you can go for a choice question, which is the define water of crystallization. Give the chemical formula for two compounds as examples. How can it be proved that the water of crystallization makes a difference in the state and the color of the compounds? So water of crystallization is the number of molecules of water which are loosely bound to one molecule of salt. You can give any example like CuSO4.5H2O. These 5H2O are the water of crystallization. Or you can give an example of barium chloride, which have two molecules of water of crystallization. We can prove this by heating the compound containing water of crystallization. When you heat that compound, the state changes due to the removal of water of crystallization. And also like when copper sulfate crystals, which are blue in color, when you heat them, they lose their color and they turn white. And also plaster of Paris is a white powder, and on mixing with water, it changes to gypsum, which forms a hard solid mass. So you can give an example for the question. Next question is: write two properties of gold which make it the most suitable metal for ornaments. So the gold is inert metal, has shiny surface, or it is malleable, ductile. You can also easily use it for making your ornaments. You can give any of the properties. The next question is: name the two metal which are the best conductors of heat. So the best conductors of heat are copper and aluminium. Next question is: name two metal which melt when you keep them on your palm. So the answer will be cesium and gallium. The next question is: explain the formation of ionic compound CaO with electron dot structure. Atomic number of calcium and oxygen are also given, which are 20 and 8 respectively. So the electronic configuration of calcium will be 2882, its valency will be 2, and oxygen will be 26, so its valency will be also 2. By losing 2 electrons, calcium atom form a calcium ion. Gaining 2 electrons, oxygen form an oxide ion. Calcium reacts with oxygen to form an ionic compound, calcium oxide. Or you can also draw an electron dot structure for showing the how the ionic interaction is taking place and how the calcium oxide is formed. Next question is: why is nutrition necessary for the human body? We need nutrition. We require nutrition for survival, growth, reproduction. You can also give a detailed account of these things. Next question is: what causes movement of food inside the alimentary canal? So the answer will be peristaltic movement, which are the rhythmic contraction and relaxation of muscular muscles in our gut. So the next question is: why is small intestine in herbivores longer than in carnivores? So small intestine is longer in herbivore because they are plant eating animals. They are capable, so the plant eating animals have, or they have to digest the cellulose and fibers which are not easily digested. So they are, for the complete digestion of their food, they need a large space, they need a large intestine, they need a large digestive tract. So the intestine is in herbivores is much longer than in the carnivores. Next is, what will happen if mucus is not secreted by the gastric glands? And when the mucus is not secreted by the gastric glands present in the stomach, they secrete hydrochloric acid, they secrete enzymes like pepsin, they secrete mucus, and hydrochloric acid maintains the acidic medium for the enzyme pepsin to work, and pepsin acts on the peptides, on the proteins and the form peptides. The mucus provide protection to the inner lining of the stomach from the acids. So, if a mucus is not secreted by the gastric glands, it may erode the inner lining of the stomach, which will lead in ulcers and other problems and acidity. Next question is, draw a neat diagram show fertilization in a flower, which is shown here, and you also have to label pollen tube, male germ cell and female germ cell. You have to explain the process of fertilization, and you have to write what happens to ovary and ovule after fertilization. So ovule will be forming seed and ovary will be forming fruit after fertilization. And what is the fertilization? Fertilization is the fusion of male and the female gamete and forming zygote, which is which is the product of fusion of male and female gamete. And when a mature pollen reaches the stigma of a flower, it absorbs the sugary secretion of the stigma, it swells up and ruptures, and it divides and releases the two male gametes, as pollen grain is carrying the male gametes. So when it enters the ovule of the ovary through a small opening called as the micropyle, so one of the male gametes will fuse with the female gamete and it will form a zygote, which is called as the fertilization, and the other will fuse with the two polar nuclei and it will form a PEN, and it is called as a triple fusion. Since the fertilization has occurred twice, it is said that angiospermic plants undergo double fertilization. You can also draw the diagram. Next question is, okay, this is a choice question for the previous question. What is puberty? The age at which the sex hormones begin to produce and reproductive organs become functional, which is known as puberty. Okay, which here the male and female become sexually mature. Next is, describe in brief the functions: testis, seminal vesicles, vas deferens, urethra. You have to mention the functions of each, which is mentioned below. Next is, why are testes located outside the abdominal cavity? Testes are located outside the abdominal cavity because here the sperm formation takes place, and the sperm formation requires 2 to 3 degree temperature less than the body temperature. So the testes are always located outside the abdominal cavity. The next question is, state how sperms move toward the female germ cell. So sperms have a long tail that helps them to move easily, and by their movement, by their swimming movement, motility, they reach toward the female germ cell. Next question is a question related with your numerical. So here you have given a battery of 3 cells of 2 volt each, and you have a combination of 3 resistors of 10, 20, 30 ohms connected in parallel, a plug key and an ammeter, all connected in series, and you have to use this circuit to find current through each resistor, total current in the circuit, total effective resistance of the circuit. And also you can go for a choice question which says 2 identical resistors, each of resistance 12 ohm, are connected in series, and next time they are connected in parallel in turn to a battery to a 6 volt. Calculate the ratio of power consumed in the combination of resistors in each case. You can use your formulas. You can use the combinations of series and parallel for calculating your current, as it is discussed here, like voltage in the circuit will be equal to 6 volts. Calculating the resistance, which is R1 is 10 ohm, R2 is 20, and R3 is 30. So when we let the total current to be I in the circuit and R be the total effective resistance, and applying the Ohm's law, which is V is equal to I into R, we can calculate current through each resistors. And after calculating the current through each resistor, you can calculate the total current. When you calculate the total current, you can calculate the effective resistance. This is a choice question where you have to calculate the ratio of parts for series and parallel. Same, you have to calculate the effective resistance for series Then you have to calculate the effective resistance for parallel. You put the formula, power will be equal to V square by R. For series it will come out to be 1.2 watt, and for parallel it comes out to be 4.8 watts. So when we calculate the ratio, putting the power of series upon power of parallel connection, we get a ratio of 1:4. So the last question of this paper is state Fleming's left hand rule. You have to give the statement of the Fleming's left hand rule here. Also list 3 characteristic features of the electric current used in our homes. You have to list your features of your current, which is alternating current. And also have a varying current, frequency is 50 hertz in India. You can write these features in this question. Next question is, what is a fuse? Why is it called a safety device? So you can write fuse is a safety device in electrical circuit. It is a safety device because it prevents the damage to the appliance and the electrical circuit due to overloading. So it is called a safety device. And why is it necessary to earth metallic electric appliances? So metallic electric appliances are earthed using earth wire, as it provides a low resistance path to electric current, thus ensuring that any leakage current to the metallic body of the appliance keeps its potential to that of the earth, and the user may not get a severe electric shock. These are your 30 questions, and this is the whole paper discussion along with the answers. Hope you find this video helpful, and thank you guys for watching this video. If you find this video helpful, so please hit the like button, share this video with your friends, and also subscribe to my channel for more upcoming videos. And also, if you have any problem or any query, you can mention in the comment box. And thank you guys again for watching this video.